Let us take a crash course in the cosmic distance ladder and the galactic coordinate system from Alastair Reynolds, who happens to hold a doctorate in astrophysics, by taking a detailed look at his collection of science fiction short stories named Galactic North. Galactic North as a collection is comprised in total of 8 different short stories, all of them set within the wider Revelation Space universe, albeit at vastly different times and locations. These span events in the Sol system before interstellar travel via Lighthugger was even possible, all the way to events at the very end of the series and beyond. Galactic North is listed on Goodreads as the 3.5th entry to the series, which after some reflection is most likely just related to the fact that it was published in the year 2006, thus after the publication of Absolution Gap, the 3rd entry to the series. There is a solid argument that Galactic North could be placed somewhere else in the entire series, but that is something for a different video. With its 352 pages, Galactic North is one of the shortest entries to the series, only topping the double novella Diamond Dogs, Turquoise Days with its 231 pages. Obviously, it is more difficult to pinpoint the quote-unquote exact values for the various semi-objective figures of merit if we are talking about a short story collection spanning several centuries and which takes place on different planets, moons or space stations. However, Galactic North is solidly part of the Revelation Space series, and this fact is reflected in its scores in these categories. Galactic North exhibits more elements of hard science fiction than not, although some short stories do verge into softer parts of this genre. The scale of the narrative universe varies, depending again on the particular story that we are looking at. Nevertheless, if Galactic North is considered as a whole, then we must talk of a comparatively vast narrative universe. In terms of original and novel concepts, some of these stories present some quite interesting aspects, whereas other stories are quote-unquote just relying on the setting within the Revelation Space universe. This does not take away from the entertainment value that these stories can provide though. Furthermore, the amount of proper main and side characters that can be developed within the scope of these short stories is limited. But at the same time, there are several veteran characters that we have encountered throughout the main sequence of the Revelation Space novels that are also featured in some of the short stories within Galactic North. In terms of critical reception, Galactic North was nominated for the Locus Award for Best Collection in the year 2007. Its popular reception is evidenced by a respectable combined rating of 4.2 out of 5 stars based on thousands of reviews listed on various aggregator sites. Such a high rating is actually quite an achievement for a story collection, and it is on par with Redemption Arc, which I personally rated as possibly the best novel of the Revelation Space series. More on the question which novel or entry to the series is better will also be featured in a future video. In this video I am going to refrain from rattling down plot summaries of the 8 different short stories, not only due to it being quite repetitive, but also because it would be somewhat challenging to provide you with any meaningful synopses without at the same time stumbling into spoilers for these stories. The 8 stories can be placed into 3 categories, the ones having been published in the magazine Interzone between 1990 and 1999, the ones having been published in Spectrum SF in the early 2000s, and the ones being first published within this story collection. All of this shows how long Alastair Reynolds has been tinkering with the Revelation Space universe in one form or another. The short story collection offers a unique set of tales, each contributing distinct elements to the broader Revelation Space universe. In addition, they also offer the full gamut of Reynolds' writing style and narrative tone, from military sci-fi to dystopian fiction, all the way to body and cosmic horror. Furthermore, many of the stories provide intriguing background details revealing how certain characters or even entire factions evolved into their roles in the main series. Others delve into the development of specific locations within the narrative universe, or explore thought-provoking concepts that emerge from the established boundaries of this fictional universe. Some stories even combine several of these aspects, enriching and enhancing the reader's understanding of the entire series. However, Galactic North is not without its issues, though most of them stem more from what the collection is not, rather than from what it actually is. Published in the year 2006, 2 years after Absolution Gap, Galactic North stood as the final entry in the Revelation Space series, or more specifically the inhibitor sequence, depending on how you want to call this specific amount of books, until the release of the novel Inhibitor Phase in 2021. Thus, for 15 years, despite being in every sense of the word a stellar example of a short story collection, Galactic North served as an underdeveloped conclusion to the Revelation Space series, leaving many significant plot points virtually unresolved. While these shortcomings are not intrinsic flaws of the collection itself, they personally left me with a negative connotation when I first read Galactic North several years ago, possibly even a decade ago. However, at this specific time, these issues have been mitigated by the release of the full novel Inhibitor Phase, whose merits we will discuss in a future review video. Overall, there is nothing that should hold you back reading Galactic North if you have enjoyed the main novels of the Revelation Space series so far. The only serious argument one could have is the question when exactly to read this short story collection, whether between Absolution Gap and Inhibitor Phase, as indicated by Goodreads.com, or instead even after Inhibitor Phase, at the very end of the main sequence, for example. But these musings, as mentioned at the very beginning, will be left for another video. If you liked this video, you may also enjoy the other reviews and content on my channel. Feel free to leave a comment if you want to discuss the novels or if you want to suggest other books that I should review in the future. Please consider upvoting and subscribing, it is much appreciated. Thank you for watching and until next time.